What is up, geeks and geekettes? We are back with another episode of the Countdown City Geekcast. My name is Ted, aka Seti. Joining me on this penultimate breakdown of Alien Earth. That's episode 7, the one and only Xeno Attack Day.
What's up, guys?
We have a lot to get into. We are one episode away from the conclusion of season 1 of Alien Earth. It's come and gone so fast, but it's been one hell of a ride. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying it like we have. We're going to talk all about episode 7 before we start spoiling anything. It's really just about what you think after finishing the episode, Dave. What are your thoughts?
It was a great episode, man. There's so many like little twists and little confirmation type twists scenarios. It was wonderful, man. The last episode was good. This episode, I think, is great. For every build up from the last couple episodes and the whole season, really, this really was a standout, surprising episode. Maybe if you watch it a second time, it won't be as great, of course, because I mean, there's like twists, but it was really good, man. And you got a lot of carnage, a lot of carnage candy, a lot of Xeno action, and some revelations too.
No, absolutely, man. Revelations for sure. I think a lot of the theories, some places that we were going panned out. Some of the things we were going for sort of got pulled back a little bit in this one. But ultimately, like, it's so fascinating. It's so intriguing. Um, as an audience, if someone as someone watching this, I'm engaged completely throughout everything that's happening, which I love. Um, they are tying some things really well together, and there are some questions out there. Some characters where like, okay, what are they gonna do with them? And I did have one fear through this episode, and I don't know if you know what I'm thinking of, but I was I was kind of hoping something would happen, or someone would come out of this episode unscathed, but we're gonna get into that part, and we want to hear your guys' thoughts too. Episode 7 of Alien Earth. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Go ahead and drop your comments on the episode below. Are your theories panning out? How do you think this season's going to end? I'm going to tell you later on what director Daniel Gonzalez said about episode 8. So yeah, we're going to get into all that stuff. So for right now, if you haven't seen the episode, this is part of our show where you should pause the video, come back, watch episode 7, and then come back and watch what we got to say about it. So I'm going to go ahead and go through a little bit of a line by line of where this episode went, starting with Smee. Smee discovers what Slightly is up to and reluctantly agrees to help bring Arthur out of the facility. Um, I love that Slightly was trying to, I don't know, make Arthur comfortable while he
Yeah,
had an alien completely contrapted around Arthur's face. It's like, bro, you're not gonna help him. Do what you need to do already. Like, what was going through your mind though when he's giving him the water and Arthur's like regurgitating some of this bile or something that's coming out of the face hugger?
exactly what happened. The tail will tighten around the neck because the face hugger thinks that you're trying to remove it. We discovered that in 1979 with the face hugger, and I think they were talking about defense mechanisms. And when they cut they cut the knuckle, and then well, of course we saw the acid for blood, but it did do the tightening thing, and I was like, it's gonna tighten, man. He might die right then and there. He didn't, but it went according to what I thought in my head, which I say bravo, Noah.
There was a moment where they do a close up of the neck of Arthur, and you see this sort of stream of bile coming down. And I almost thought for a second, are they trying to show us the larva is like had come out, like Arthur had regurgitated the larva from the facehugger? Um, no, we get our answer later on in the episode. That is not what happened. But I was wondering if they were going to use this as a way to potentially keep Arthur alive by the end of this episode. Lo and behold, it did not happen. But because of that close up, which I guess it was just the tentacles tightening, I thought, are they showing us the larva falling out? It looked a lot different, but I was wondering if that's what they were trying to do. Next thing. Kirsch and Boy Cavalier, who I'm going to call BK from now on, because Boy Cavalier is just too long. They discussed Toodle's accident, understanding fully that the eye midge is capable of more than meets the eye. See what I did there?
I saw
Your
that.
thoughts on their discussions on the crime scene, Toodle's death, and I guess there's a possibility of bringing him back from what they claim.
Yeah, I think if he is really one of the smartest people on the planet, I think he would have realized that there is this uncommon intelligence in the image, the eyeball jockey, as I love to call him. Um, because when you saw, I'm, were they aware when they had to have been aware, right? They have the security footage of the image in that one guy's head when he attacked the xenomorph, right? They had to have seen that
You
footage.
had to have seen it.
So that to me is maybe a little bit of, I don't know, story that could have, um, I don't know, that maybe they should have went left when they went right with it. But it felt like to me they were conveying to the audience that this thing has intelligence. As soon as that sheep stood up on its hind legs, I mean, to me that showed something. That showed incredible control, balance, and I mean, I guess they didn't see the tapping of the tentacles to do the distracting, but I mean, it's so small and it's such a small detail. But to me, I think they should have figured it out before they saw the security cam footage of the headbutt on the glass. I'm glad they did figure it out that the Mitch orchestrated the whole Toodles falling down and kind of showing intelligence. I mean, it's cool, and I love that they are. It almost seems like Noah Hawley figured out that this new alien would be like the hit alien, the hit new alien, and it feels like it's going to play a bigger role, if not in the next episode, maybe next season. So I think there's more to it. There's more to do with it, and I think this episode hinted at that.
Oh boy.
And
Yeah,
then
we're gonna get into that for sure by the end of this episode.
the question, when Boy Cavalier was spitballing on who to put the image on, at the end he said, I know exactly who to put it on. Who do you think that person is?
I feel like there's only two choices, right?
Uh-huh.
It's either the female scientist, Arthur's wife or love interest. Probably not gonna go with her. I think he's gonna use Joe.
The butler.
No, no, no. Oh,
No,
you think it's a butler? I no, I
I
think
was
he's gonna
thinking it
use
was
Joe,
his like
Wendy's
right hand
brother.
man.
Well, he was standing right next to him though when he said that.
Yeah, but he didn't say his name, and he walked away. And this guy, what's his name in the show?
Uh, His real name? I don't know.
No,
Oh,
what is it in the show?
it's
Because it's like
Dan. It's something like
he's still a mysterious character because people have theories. Is that like his dad? Was that the first hybrid, possibly, as an experiment? Is the guy humanoid? Is he a cyborg? I mean, what's this guy's deal? He is evil,
Adam,
but Adam.
and it's not AD. It's ATOM.
Adam, like the actual particle,
Yeah, Adam.
like an atom bomb. Yeah.
His name on the show. I'm looking at it right now. I had no idea. Adam Eins, EINS, like the first half of Einstein.
Hmm. Yeah, we still don't know what he is.
No.
And Yeah, there's been like clues and hints, maybe, because I think there's a scene with like a bunch of faces that look like him in the background. So
Hmm.
maybe he is like the finished product, or like the alpha or the beta of what they did with hybrids. So I think he's thinking about him because he's already loyal and subservient to him, and we don't know what he is. To me, that makes it he's probably like a cyborg or something.
You know what? I just had an epiphany. I'll save it for the end of of this
Write
discussion.
it down, Ted. You're gonna forget.
I promise you I won't forget
Okay.
because I just
Okay.
had this epiphany, and it might be because of you, sir. So thank you very much for this.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah, the only thing I want to say about this, and you had mentioned earlier, why didn't they see the image attack Xeno? Maybe they didn't have the footage because Morrow downloaded everything from the ship before they had a chance to get a hold of it.
That's true. Okay.
Could be a thing. I'm not saying that's what happened, but could be a thing. They might not have known the image was capable of those things until this
Yeah,
moment.
but it just feels like the thing is intelligent, you know. But I mean, we've seen it more than I guess Boy Cavalier has experienced it.
Yeah, we have for sure.
But yeah, I mean, that thing just screams like the gears are turning in its head to find a way out of its situation.
I don't think so. I don't. Every time we see him attempt something, it's less of like a I'm trying to escape, and it's more like a I'm conducting my own experiments.
Right. It's probing.
What it is,
Where am I at? Who? What are these humans?
it's testing the limits of the individuals that it comes across. You know what I mean? It's putting them in harm. It's kind of figuring out like what kills them. Oh,
Yes.
these fucking ticks can kill them. Oh, these flies can kill them with acid.
Yeah.
It's kind of learning the limits of each of the individuals it comes across, and I'm reluctant to say humans because not everybody who comes around the image Teocelus is a human. So yeah, that's what I love about
I
it.
hear them
And
say
for the
Teocellus.
say what?
I hear people pronounce it Teocellus.
Yeah. I'm not turning into an argument with people online because there's a lot of people that love this thing,
Yes.
and I'm just like, listen, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. This thing's gonna control the universe, and like by season 3, like you should be terrified of this thing. It's like it's the future warlord of the universe. Like it's
Yeah.
gonna enslave everybody. Like this
It's
is
like
the
the
most
aliens from The
terrifying thing.
Simpsons, just a smaller
Hey,
version.
damn it, Dave. Wow, I haven't even put that together. It's like a baby one of those things.
Yeah.
If we see the parents of that thing, oh shit. I
Man,
wanna do
there's so many opportunities here. So many sequel opportunities. If they do a movie sequel for this thing, they go to the planet with the image, or do a spin-off and those
why did
things like come out. Oh my
why didn't you bring that up with Noah when you met him? "Hey, are these like the things from The Simpsons?"
because this is what Noah
People of
does.
Earth.
Yeah. So I have the I don't know. I don't know how to say this. I've had the luxury to speak to Noah a few times, which is insane. But every time I speak to him, he looks at me and just kind of smiles and laughs a little bit because
You're so
I don't
giddy.
know, because I'm saying something like fan like to him, and I think he kind of trips out like, okay, we got a fan, and I'm going through this fan experience. So if I say, hey, were the Simpsons aliens an inspiration for the image? He's probably just gonna like turn and leave, you know? He's just gonna laugh.
Or he might be like, "Fuck,
Oh,
you're the only one to put that connection together." He might say that.
and the Simpsons are under the Disney umbrella.
They are. They are. It makes sense to me. It really does. You've cracked the code, David. Congratulations.
Fantastic.
Oh my god. Alright,
Can't
next,
wait for the TikTok, Ted.
the situation with, Toodles is enough to push Wendy over the edge and put her at odds with, Prodigy. I guess this has been building up over some time. The way they've handled Nibs, the way they've sort of kept her in, like, this cage, and they've tried to limit her in the past. It's all been brewing a little bit, and now enough is enough. She realizes she's probably never going to get what she wants from these folks. So she's one way or another emotionally disconnected from these people, I think. Next, she'll be physically disconnected because Joe finds her and they gather nibs and plan to escape while Wendy creates a distraction. What is that distraction, you might ask? Well, let me tell you. She remotely opens the container holding the xenomorph, her pet xenomorph, and it goes complete apeshit on the rest of the lab technicians and security. And I don't know how I felt about that. Wendy, I know she sort of means well. She probably wouldn't hurt a fly in most cases, and yet she's willing to put these individuals up um, as fodder in order to get her Xeno out. I guess the ends justify the means in her eyes, but it was surprising to me that she was willing to do that herself.
I mean, she was cornered. That was the only option.
Yeah.
I think she came to the realization that Boy Cavalier isn't who she thought he was, and in her, I mean, just her mind, she thought he was so pure of heart, and then when she saw Toodles all jacked up, and then she wanted a clear and direct explanation from Boy Cavalier, he couldn't give it to her. So then she suspected, yeah, you're you're being super sinister here. I don't like the way this conversation is going. And then the security stepped in her way. And then it just escalated from there. But then of course we get the reveal that she can talk, she can command the Xeno.
Which is something that you and I sort of talked about in our last discussion. Is this something they're going to show us? Because this is a first in the Alien franchise.
Yeah.
Someone actually giving commands to a Xeno. And we both said at the same time, like, we haven't seen it before. It sounds like it would be too much, but we both were like, hell yeah, let's see it happen for the first time. Let's see how it goes down. And sure enough, it goes down really freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And we're going to see that multiple times in this episode. But before we do that, they come across the graves of their original selves and their original bodies. For you, what are they trying to tell us with this moment?
I thought that was a very interesting touch there, that we got to see the actual graves, and the fact that they were actually buried with tombstones. It's like, did Dame Sylvia make
Mm,
this order? Because that's a very kind of caring and personal gesture. You would figure Boy Cavalier just cremate them, incinerate them, and just dump it out with the garbage. But yeah, they were buried with tombstones, and yeah, the people were there. Nibs reacted like, "Oh my god, it's me!" And then Wendy was like, "That's not us, guys." And
yeah.
Wendy like has her head on her shoulders, but yeah, Nibs, she's way too emotional. I mean, she was not the right candidate to actually be in that body, and we're seeing consequences as we see later on in the episode.
I think this is the final moment for Wendy that almost relieves herself of her humanity
Mm,
to a certain extent. It's like I used to be human, some part of me, and I've been kind of holding on to that.
right.
And I've been, you know, people calling me Marcy, looking for my brother, holding on to that relationship and that connection. But there I am in the ground. That's not us. Don't worry about that anymore. That's the past. We are what we are now, and there's no way to get back there. So for me, it's a little bit of a full release of her human side. I'm not saying she's like full synth anymore, but she's definitely more than human, and she's probably fully embracing that in this episode. Maybe for the first time. I think
Yeah,
so.
she's gone more the synth side than something resembling a human being. And she really cares. She really, really cares for the hybrid synths. I mean, it's it's evident in this episode. She told Hermit that I wouldn't leave you, and you wouldn't leave me, and we got to try. And Hermit was like, okay, and she was cool with it. Made sense. But yeah, there's always gonna be repercussions when you kind of don't do the direct thing and just leave. They could have just left and maybe gotten away with it. Maybe they could have beaten what was waiting for them. But yeah, I mean, she tried to do the thing that she thought that was right. I mean, there's still humanity at that level there with her.
Yeah. Arthur wakes up from his face hugger induced coma. I love how they did that, by the way, with his body basically moving away. This all felt very Weekend at Bernie's to me for a while, and then for the body to move, I'm like, oh, now it really feels like Weekend at Bernie's because they can't find the body now.
Right.
But he wakes from his facehugger induced coma, unaware of what happened to him. Moments later, the Xeno growing inside him is birthed into the world. The two, um, Slightly and
It's me.
Smee are later met by Morrow and his military team. Upon, I'll get to that in a second. Let's go back to Arthur. I love how they do all this stuff. I love how the body moves afterwards. Him not remembering anything feels very on par with the Alien franchise. And then I was hoping that somehow the larva had been regurgitated, um, and he was free of his, not pest. What do you call it?
Parasite.
Parasite. That he was free of his parasite. No, he was not, and it's it's unfortunate because I actually got a chance to speak with the actor David, I believe his name is. Yeah, David Rysdahl. I got a chance to speak to him back in March, and so now knowing that he doesn't even make it to the end of the season is quite shocking. 'Cause he looked at me directly in my face and told me how excited he was for the season. And in his head, he's like, I'm gonna get murdered by a face hugger, and you have no idea." And yeah, it's quite special. So shout out to David who had a short conversation with him about the episode, posted the interview on our socials, and you one hell of a season. You really nailed this part. You were spot on, perfect for it. We bid you farewell in the Alien franchise, and you absolutely killed it. No pun intended. Your thoughts about how all this went down?
I didn't necessarily like the whole like the body disappeared and then the face hugger dropped from the trees, and I thought he was going to be in the tree, like hanging onto a branch or something, and I don't know, like they're going to be like, hey, let's get down from there or something, but that didn't kind of make sense to me because I thought when the face hugger is done, it's dead and it just falls off the face. So in that like moment where the camera pans to them, the face hugger falls off and he walks away and he ends up on the other side when the camera like he walks behind the camera. I didn't like understand how that worked, but yeah, I mean it was a classic. Yeah, you get the face hugger, you get the chest burster to pop out, and it feels like they really did make a concerted effort to make the chest burster look like the original, almost like a little puppet when it ran off. Even though yeah, it's probably CGI, but they made it puppet like, which is a cool thing that like I know Star Wars has done to make the puppets that are now CGI look more puppetish, and I love that little like thing they do. So yeah, I mean, it slithered away like a snake. They couldn't find it. It just disappeared, and it's like, what is Morrow gonna do when he finds out?
Which is part of the confusing part because Morrow had given slightly instructions, and if unless my memory is not accurate, I think Morrow even told him, have the facehugger attack him or find a host it'll I think he even said it'll fall off and then you bring him to me. And I'm like, there's probably not enough time to get your host to Moro before
Right.
the larva actually comes out of the chest. So I feel like Moro didn't give specific enough instructions for this to be a successful mission. He
Right. He
should have
just said, "Come
said,
alone to the beach. Bring me someone with a face hugger." Essentially.
I think that's what should have he should have told him, like, either bring in with the facehugger or bring the egg and a host specimen or something along those lines. But
Yeah, but the big question is how would have where exactly on the island would they have been if it weren't for Kirsch telling them to go the direct route outside of the compound, which was crazy to hear. And Kirsch just went like full David mode. He's got his own plan cooking, so he's trying to cook, and it's like, wow, he is not on Boy Cavalier's side whatsoever. He's manipulating things, and he's got a plan, and he's letting Morrow think that he's in control, but Kirsch has been there the whole time listening in and figuring things out. So he's on the upper hand essentially.
he has had the upper hand because we get into this next scene where upon entering the lab they're met by the full might of Prodigy and Kirsch, baby Zeno in hand. So I'm with you. I actually thought we were going to see Kirsch kind of betray BK, kind of making decisions on his own that weren't in the best interest of Prodigy, especially when he let Slightly and Smee go with Arthur and Facehugger attached. I was thinking, it kind of feels like Kirsch wants this to succeed, but no, 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 no. He wants it to go according to Morrow's plan so he can set his own trap,
Yep.
which is even more diabolical. He is playing chess,
Yep.
Morrow is playing checkers,
Yep.
and it's exciting again. But now I feel like Kirsch is just he's always been doing the things in the best interest of Prodigy. It feels more like he has BK's back now than it did before. Um, because he's winning. He's winning. He took away this is chess, right? He's taken away the pieces of Wayland Yutani. Their entire armed forces are either dead or they are now captured, and they don't have to agree to now anything anymore. This is a full on attack by another corporation. And I feel like any leverage that Wayland Yutani might have had is now completely null and void. They don't really have to do anything legal wise, which I don't even know if they're going to get into that by the end of the season. But it just feels like Prodigy has the upper hand 100% across the board.
Well, don't you kind of think that there's so much chaos now involved with the two Xenos now that how it's going through them like cutting butter, all these people. Um, I kind of think maybe Prodigy might need assistance with the Xenos, and they might need to maybe have like a partnership or like a some type of like teamwork going on with Wayland Yutani, because otherwise this Xeno's just gonna wreck shop on this island. And thank goodness it's an island. It's not mainland. And does the alien can't swim in some movies, but I don't know if
Mm.
that's gonna be like a canon thing or is it gonna just avoid the water. But I thought that was interesting. And I think not only is Kirsch playing chess, I think he's playing 3D chess with Boy Cavalier. He's playing a long game with that dude. And Kirsch has full sentience and full game planning. And he's to me, I think he's smarter than Boy Cavalier. He's more pragmatic, and there's zero emotion,
Yeah.
which works in his favor totally. Because Boy Cavalier is going to make a mistake, and it might do him in. And I think Kirsch is a lot more patient, a lot more Just let's see where the chips fall, and then I will go to plan B. And if the chips fall here, I'll go to plan C. He's just seeing how it all plays out because he
You,
wants the humans are dying. I think that's part of the plan, and he's just waiting it out, and he's there to witness it all.
what I love most about Kirsch is that he's never, in his head at least, he's never not out of control. He is always in control. Whenever Toodles is dead, whenever a Xeno has escaped, it just feels like he has already played out the scenario. He understands when there's danger, when there's not danger. He tells BK at the beginning of the episode, "It should be safe for you to come in now." Like it just feels like he's always in control of the situation. I feel like right now he's in full control of the situation. You say two Xenos on the loose, it's a problem. I say we now have the Xeno Whisperer, and we have
Right.
leverage because they have Joe, and they can threaten Joe and say, put them in their cages, or we give the we give your brother the image. I mean, you need to think more like a supervillain. That's what I would do. That's what
Yeah,
I
I
would
think
do.
I think Wendy more of a
She
wild card type factor to her because I think she has a level of pragmatism like Kirsch does, but she is not on the evil side of it. I think she can figure things out to help her situation, but I don't think. I mean, because okay, so like your scenario, if they tell her put the two Xenos in the cage, I mean, there's ways around that. I
mm,
guess maybe the bigger Xeno they can put in the cage, but see, Boy Cavalier doesn't know about the other Xeno.
well, Kirsch does.
Right. Kirsch does, but is Kirsch going to tell Boy Cavalier about it?
I
Because
think
he probably wants to
so.
see chaos.
I think so.
And the Xenos don't attack the synths.
I
So
think if he wanted chaos, he could have left things play out.
controlled chaos.
Yeah,
That's what he's looking for.
quite possibly. I think help's gonna have to come from somewhere else. I think Wendy right now, even though she's super fast, super strong, Joe is her Achilles heel.
Mhm.
As long as they have Joe, they can threaten him and get her to bend the knee, and just have their will, thy will be done. The only assistance that she can get is either going to come from slightly, probably not, Smee, probably not, um, or the girl. Is it Curly?
Yes.
I think this is where Curly probably fulfills her destiny.
Mm.
She has sort of been the good helper, the good assistant. She's really wanted to, impress um, the heads of Prodigy and get into some sort of goodwill with them. But ultimately, blood is thicker than water, and their blood is somewhat kind of milky-ish. So I feel like there's gonna have to be some outside assistance, and it's gonna have to come from one of those three, probably Curly, because the other two, uh, yeah, they're not useless, but they're not gonna be able to pull anyone out of the situation. So Wendy's gonna need help, and I think it comes from Curly. I don't think anybody else is gonna be able to help her in this scenario.
Do you think maybe Dynamic Lynch and Threshold are going to show up at any point?
You know what? No, I don't. I think that Noah, the genius Noah, we're not sucking up. I promise. Um, he intentionally
Not
wrote
second up, yeah.
these. He intentionally wrote these out for future seasons. He was just like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
make sure that I have room to grow, room to expand, and you do that by incorporating these, no faced, no name or these just no front facing corporations. No, yeah, you don't have a face to tie to anything. They're just there. They're just boogeymen at this point. You don't know what they're. they can do, what they're capable of, how behind or how ahead they are in their technology and their space travel capabilities. You can do with that whatever the hell you want after the season with any one of those names, if you ask me. But yeah, getting back to Wendy, Joe, and Nibs, they're met on the beach by more of Weyland Yutani's forces. Wendy brought her guard dog as a pet. The Xeno makes quick work with his armed forces. They arrive to the boat. Prodigy guards ambush them. A fight ensues, and Nibs takes multiple lives, but not before Joe hits her with an electric shock, which appears to have killed her. Dot dot dot. Allegedly. Your thoughts on how this all went down?
Yeah, I think that's a question mark there. Did that electric shock kill Nibs? I don't think it did. Maybe Wendy was just like in shock herself because her brother put her down, so to speak. She was already shot with some blasters or bullets or whatever they use. I think it's bullets. Um, and then that was kind of the final like knockout blow. But I think Hermit was trying to de-escalate the situation because it was gonna something bad was gonna happen with Wendy, something bad was gonna happen with him, and Nibs just went like full like
Aggro.
I don't know Mortal Kombat fatality mode and just ripped the guy's jaw off. And I was kind of waiting for that in this episode. I thought maybe Slightly and Smee were gonna say like, "Hey, wait a minute, we're superheroes. Let's act like superheroes and just like go full like the boys on them, you know, just
Mm.
ripping people in half." But didn't happen. They're still acting like kids, but we got to see it with Nibs, and I don't think she's technically dead. I think she's just kind of like rebooting, maybe. But
Yeah, this is what we call a
Wendy,
hard reset.
yeah, hard reset. Yeah, that's a good way to say it. But yeah, Wendy was so pissed that her brother did that. And she screamed, "No, like, how could you do that?" several times. And I'm like, I mean, Wendy, it's like, come on, what do you think? Well, I mean, that was the only option, really. It was either that or let the other security on the dock just annihilate them for their own safety. They were told not to like touch the hybrids, but I mean, what are you going to do in that situation when you have a gun drawn and they're coming at you? You just saw one of them rip a guy's jaw off and then punch a guy so hard in the head that he flips and spins into the ocean.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you going to do? Yeah, Herman didn't want to take that risk.
And I think it's for I agree with you, and then I also think there's a different component to this.
Mm-hmm.
Hermit did this not for the benefit of Wendy and Nibs. He did this for the benefit of those soldiers because what was going to happen next was Wendy's going to call her dog,
Right.
and they're toast. They're not going to stop it, and they're all done too.
Right.
So they could have made it off, but Joe's not willing to sacrifice more of his kind in order to
Mm.
succeed in this mission.
Yeah, he straight up covered her mouth. And he was like, no, not more. And then, of course, the some of those security guards are his like friends.
Yep.
And I don't know, the guy that got his jaw ripped off was that one of the? That wasn't like the trio or the duo, was it?
I don't remember him very well. No, I could be wrong, but I
I don't
don't
think
feel
he
it
was. I
was.
think he was like an Asian guy that I don't think we'd seen before.
I also think like you, I think Nibs is just incapacitated.
She can't
Um,
handle being a hybrid. That she doesn't have um, the physical or not the physical, the psyche for the transference. It's too much for her.
yeah, yeah, and that's part of why they were doing these tests and having these therapy sessions along the way because you needed to figure out what the limits are for each individual. Are there limits? Is it as easy of transference is complete and then you're good from there, or is there some trauma that could carry over and affect the individual? And clearly there is. I I think she's going to be okay. This just took her down a notch. but she'll probably come out of it. If I could be wrong, but I think she will come out of this. And more importantly, what does this do to Wendy? Joe definitely could have succeeded getting them off this island, but wasn't willing to risk more human lives. And what does that say to Wendy? Now, who we talked about earlier, she already feels disconnected from her human form altogether, more than ever. And now, will this completely disconnect her from not only her brother, but the rest of humankind? Like, she no longer trusts anybody that she was around. Now, if she no longer trusts Joe, can't she trust anyone who isn't a hybrid? If that's the case, then hell hath no fury like a hybrid woman scorn who can control xenomorphs.
Still
If
technically a human woman, just the consciousness.
yeah, so if we might see the full might, we might see the full might of Wendy in the final episode if she does really disconnect from anything from her past life, um, and
So
just
do you think she's gonna lose all of her humanity?
it's possible. I mean, this is the closest she's gotten to it so far, for sure.
Hmm.
Joe's gonna have to really kiss some ass in order to prevent that from happening, or maybe the death of Joe will be the one thing that kind of ties her to that. Have her feel something one last time.
That'll be the nail in the losing all humanity coffin.
Yeah, it's possible.
Joe dying. I mean that would seal it.
Yeah,
She wouldn't care about any human being.
and I love the ending song, which it's just another straight banger. I don't remember if you and I ever called out this band, but this was Queens of the Stone Age, and the song is called "Song for the Deaf." If I'm not
Okay.
if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
I'm not familiar with Queens of the Stone Age. Sorry, Ted. I know the name of the band, but I never seek them out or listen to their stuff. Or
No, it's all good, man. I was lucky enough to catch Queens of the Stone Age at Stubbs, the world famous Stubbs barbecue venue
where
in
you played
Austin,
at?
Texas. Say what?
Where you played at the other night?
I was just about to bring that up. Yeah,
You played, or that
so
band played?
this was the year maybe 2000 and shoot, maybe 5, I want to say. 2004, 2005. Went with a few guys that I worked with to Stubbs. It's my first time seeing Queens of the Stone Age. My first time going to Stubbs, which is this legendary venue, one of the best in the country. And I was not prepared for what I saw. Queens of the Stone Age put on an absolute incredible show, and this was one of the songs that they had played, "Songs for the Deaf." So I just had an incredible time at that event. And yes, you're right. Um, I do play in a band, and we played the same venue, Stubbs, last week. And for me, it was a very spiritual experience. I've seen so many shows at this venue. I was in the same green room as every single act that's ever come through there
Wow.
was before. And there's actually pictures of not the bands that I saw, but the ones that started. So Johnny Cash, there's photos of Johnny Cash on the wall. There's photos of Stevie Ray Vaughan on the wall.
Wow.
Like it's the all time greats
And
that
if
they
you would have
have
told
posted.
me earlier, Ted, I would have gone. But I found out like hours beforehand.
You're only an hour away, so it would have been fine.
Yeah, but I had to work though. I
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
able to like call in like and find a replacement.
I get it. I get it. It won't be my last time there. So yeah, you're right.
Okay, cool.
I should have
Because I
brought that up.
saw a guy, your singer, look and sound like Ozzy.
Mm.
And I was like, oh my god, it should have gone.
There you
That would have
go.
been great.
There you go. It was a good time. We had a blast, and we had great food. So
God, Ted.
can't beat that. We'll have good food in Austin this weekend. It'll be all right. Lots to talk about. Even though, so again, another banger song. Ooh, now we're gonna play the game of who's last. You've already brought out all the greats: Metallica, Tool, Queens of the Stone Age,
The
Jane's
Smashing
Addiction,
Pumpkins.
Smashing Pumpkins. Who's Iron? Sorry, Ozzy Osbourne. Who's the last one? Who's going to close?
Black
Like,
Sabbath.
how do you head? How do you close out the season? Who's the band that's gonna be that band to close out this season?
Well, if they have the budget, they'll get Zeppelin, right?
Oh man, there's probably one or two songs that could pull it off. Immigrant Song would be incredible. Immigrant Song would be absolutely epic. It feels slightly, no pun intended, out of out of the range of what they're doing.
So many puns tonight, Ted.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'll stop. Um it feels slightly out of the range of what they're going for.
You did it again.
I feel like they're trying to stay within this like sort of early 80s to like 90s groups, and it's got to be this very high energy rock. It's not full metal. It's high energy hard rock. To me, it's like
Like Alice in Chains, Pearl Jam.
oof. I don't know if Pro Jam's ever been that heavy enough. It's possible. It's possible.
Depends on how it ends.
Have they tried
I mean,
Soundgarden yet?
Alive is pretty heavy, right? That
Who?
song, that Alive?
Yeah. No, it's more it's kind of
No?
one of those things. It's more of like a 90s ballad.
Okay. Maybe Guns N'
Mm,
Roses,
Guns. I mean, you that's probably a great
November
guess.
Rain.
Something. Oh my god, yeah. Or just screw it. Welcome to the jungle.
They are in the jungle.
They are in a jungle. They're surrounded by a
You're
jungle.
gonna die.
Dude, it's perfect. It writes itself.
Okay, if I hit, Ted owes me dinner all throughout Fantastic Fest.
Crap. At least one dinner at Stubbs.
Okay, I'll take the. And we ate at Stubbs
We
at
did
South by Southwest,
at
right?
South by. We
Yeah.
did. We did. What's even cooler is because I was a performer last week, half off my entire bill, which in this economy is great. I'll take that. I'll take it. Let's see. Yeah, so you brought up Guns. That would be a great one. Did Who are the other bands that they've used? Have they used Alice in Chains?
No, they haven't used Alice in Chains yet.
Okay, I'm gonna change my guess. If I had a choice, I'd go Stone Temple Pilots.
Mm.
I'd go Stone Temple Pilots, and I'm probably gonna use Them Bones. Wait, no, that's Alice in Chains.
Yeah, that's Alice in Chains.
What
Stone
time am
Temple
I thinking
Pilots
of?
is maybe my second favorite band of all time.
Really?
Yeah,
I I'm happy to say I have seen them live
I never got to see them live.
with homeboy. What's his name?
Billy Corgan,
No, no,
Smashing
no,
Pumpkins,
no, no, no. Stone Temple Pilots had
Scott
Scott
Weiland.
Weiland.
Yeah,
I saw
were they
Scott.
ever Stone Temple Pilots without Scott?
Yeah, they
They did it.
are. They're still playing today with uh, a guy that looks very much like Scott, but it's not Scott.
Okay. Yeah,
May he rest in peace.
yeah, I stopped kind of following. those guys, like their new stuff. Kind of would like the Pumpkins too. I mean, I haven't followed their new stuff much, but ironically, Billy Corgan just did an interview with the DeLeo brothers, a podcast on his
I gotta
podcast
watch that.
channel. Yeah, it's really good. The the DeLeo brothers are very cool dudes, and just the way they kind of went back and that, I mean, I shouldn't say back and forth, but the way they communicated, they felt very genuine and very open and very cool and very like just taking life as it comes at them, you know.
Yeah, those guys are. This is funny that it's getting into kind of this part of like a music thing that we're talking about now. So the DeLeo brothers, they're fantastic composers, arrangers, music arrangers. I don't know if you
Yeah,
want
they
what you
talked
want to
about it on the
call it.
podcast. Yeah.
They're just two of the best. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
very few that have done what they've done, and there's even less who've done it as uniquely as them. Their style is so unique. There's really nobody that close to the two of them. Like there's great duos out there. There's
Mm-hmm.
Adam Jones and Danny Carey with Tool. And those guys, they're also great. But there's
Mm-hmm.
other people out there that can sound very close to Adam and Danny. I don't think there's anybody else who sounds really close to the brothers from Stone Temple Pilots.
Mm-hmm.
Just how they're all over the place, their their tonality, their chord progressions, stylistically, it's just so different from everything else. It just doesn't make any sense how they make what they do and take it and turn it into music. If you really dissect it, if you hear them separately, if you
Mm-hmm.
just like hear them solo, it doesn't make a lot of sense how like you take that paint, you take this paint and all that stuff, and you take all this over here on this side and you put together, and it just makes just the most beautiful music. It doesn't make any sense separately. Together it's incredible, but it takes brothers, I think, to kind of pull that off. And for anybody who doesn't know, after Scott was having his troubles and the band broke up for a while, they created a band with the lead singer of Filter, and that band was called Army of Anyone. And I kid you not, that was probably the one of the best um, first albums of any rock band of the last 25 years. The album came out in 2006, and every song is just a hit. And I listen to that album today still because it's a self-titled album, Army of Anyone, and you just hit play and you just let it go, and everything is just it takes you on this roller coaster ride, and it's great because it's a really great transition from like 90s alternative rock into the 2000s sort of new metal. Like it's a great flavor of both, and so you
Mm-hmm.
get both of those things out of it. And yeah, it's just an incredible album. And they played San Antonio, I think, in 2007, maybe 6. I'll say 6. I think they played San Antonio 2006, and I was I was backstage for this because I was working radio promotions at the time, and I was literally taking photos of the band while they were on stage. I don't know what happened to those photos, but it was just one of the best experiences because it was like just the best fucking one of the best live shows I've ever seen.
Wow.
All those songs just absolutely kill in a live version. The only problem is this band that came out with one album, that was it. They put out this absolute banger and then they went away. And I'm sorry that I'm going on this long rant now, but I thought there was rumblings of them coming back like a couple of years ago, and I've heard nothing since then. So I need to go back and research it. Anyways, my choice for this final episode is Stone Temple Pilots. I'm just gonna say Vaseline, which is one of my favorite STP songs. and I feel like it sort of fits into that energy. He wants all these songs on these episodes are very similar in the sense that they're all kind of up tempo, big energy, sort of outros for the episodes.
Yeah, but this is going to be the finale of the season, though.
Yeah, but that's exactly why, because nothing's gonna get finalized. We're gonna talk about this next, but I want a song that's going to send us off into the cosmos. That's Vaseline. And so it's gonna be that song or song like Vaseline, because let's talk about it now, our theories going into the finale. And I'm kinda cheating because, I did hear something from director Daniel Gonzalez, who says, the finale of any he says any show, so he's being kinda general about this, but he
Mm-hmm.
says, finales are when things are coming together at a certain place to propel to the next season. But you and I already both know Noah has plans for multiple seasons. We
Yeah,
both
two, three,
heard that.
four, 5 seasons. Yeah.
We heard that from him, but also it's the foundation that he set up in this first season to begin with. Anybody could have saw that from a mile away. So I'm just gonna put myself in the mindset of we're gonna see either a massive cliffhanger or something kind of close to that, and we're not gonna get kind of a good closure on this first season. I'm setting myself up for that. If anything else other than that happens, and I'll go with it. But you know,
I don't think we're going to
probably.
get necessarily a cliffhanger because he didn't know if he was going to get a second season or not. I think he thought as much, but I mean, it wasn't a guarantee, you know? I mean, sometimes these creators make great stuff and it doesn't get greenlit for a second season or get the necessary viewership to have that second season. So you don't really know. You have a good idea. The studio can say, hey, look, yeah, if you do better than okay, which they have,
Mm.
we'll greenlight you. But I mean, it wasn't certain. So I think he might put somewhat of a button on it, but there's going to be room for season two, which we're most likely going to get.
And I think that you are right in that sense, but I also know there are showrunners that just write shows without an ending. And I feel like Noah's probably one of those guys where like I'm writing this thing and I don't have an end in sight. And so I'm going to write it as such. And if it resonates with people and I get to keep going, great. And if not, then so be it. But um I don't think he's that egotistical going into this first season thinking like, "Oh, I know I'm gonna get another season, so we'll go ahead and write it this way." No, I think he's just that kinda guy where he's always gonna write things sort of open-ended because he always has something more to tell. So, what do you think happens in this finale?
Um, with this show, I haven't really gone and let myself think about what's going to happen in the next episode. But if I allow myself to think about the next episode, I don't think a trailer is out yet. But I think Wendy is taken back to Boy Cavalier. The Xeno is still on the loose. And I think what you said was have Wendy tell the Xeno to go get cage itself or whatever. But I mean, she can very easily just give different orders to the Xeno: stay away, hide, not until I need you, don't come back. Because Boy Cavalier doesn't know what she's saying to the Xeno. And she'll just say, I tried. And he's going to be like, liar, you lying. And then Kirsch is going to be over here like, maybe he figured out the language. What's to say he can't communicate? Dude's like a evil genius. What if he calls the Xeno in and calls it on Boy Cavalier and blames it on Wendy?
Mm.
And then somehow Boy Cavalier gets away, is saved, and then Wendy's locked up. And then maybe Kirsch does a thing where he like starts speaking xenomorph and gets confuses the xenomorph enough to save boy. I don't know, because he's playing the long game. So maybe we see something like that. But I want to say there's going to be something to do with the image. There has to
Got
be
to.
something with that alien. I mean, I don't think he would end the season and not have like a payoff, like a really good payoff. We've seen it in a human. Maybe the end scene is one of the humans turns around and it's in the eye, and maybe I don't know, maybe it sinks in more where you can't tell it's in there. I don't know. Like I said, I really haven't thought about it, but there has to be a payoff with the image. I think there's going to be something cool that we don't know one of its abilities, and we see it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking maybe there's something different. There's something unique with the image in the last episode, and then of course, like you said, when he gets captured, um, then I want to see if Nibs lives, and and then what happens with the brother. I mean, it's they're all caught now. Moro's caught. Wendy will be caught. So what happens?
I I have a feeling where I think they're trying to go, but I don't know how they're going to pull this off. It was very interesting that we did find a host, and now there is a second Xeno out here, and it's in the custody of Prodigy. So it sort of feels like they're going to put these two Xenos against one another at some point. And we know Wendy's going to be controlling one. The question is, how are they going to control the other one? Which you kind of hinted at. They might have figured it out, or they might have used what Wendy has done, because literally they are tracking everything she sees and does, right? So they can easily probably put all of the communication that she's done into some sort of program to extrapolate commands and phrases or whatever else, and find a way to control this second Xeno. So somehow I feel like in my head of putting my rider's cap on, they're gonna try and it's gonna feel very Pokemon style. Xeno, I choose you. That kind of a thing. And they're gonna put these two monsters against one another at
That's
some
what I was
point
about to say. Yeah,
in the episode.
a Xeno battle royale.
Exactly. Which again is not something we've seen. I don't believe. I don't believe we've ever seen Xenos fight one another for any reason other
Right.
than there was the one time they killed one for to escape out of a cell. I forgot what alien that was. But yeah. Anyway, it sort of feels like where it's going for me. Now, what do they do with the image?
I just had an
I
idea.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go first because I did say
You always
earlier
do.
that I sort of had this epiphany, and
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. That's a big epiphany you had.
it might not be something that we get in this first season, and it has a lot to do with BK and Adam, who has been very mysterious to us, who
Right.
they've never mentioned is a synth. He doesn't act synth like. He just acts as sort of an elder
Hmm.
to Boy Cavalier, BK. I will say that this is something that I don't have any evidence for. This is just me. If I'm writing a show like this one and I want to maximize the biggest plot twist I can come up with, then the thing that I'm going to do by the end of this season or by the end of the next season is to reveal that BK is the first hybrid. We know that hybrids are super intelligent, right? We know that they have heightened senses all across the board. If we somehow find out that BK himself is a hybrid, which he may not be aware. We've realized that like sometimes they can understand certain things and aspects. He might have been at such an age that he doesn't understand, and he does act childlike. So he might have been a teenager at the time when all this happened. Now, again, I have no evidence of this. It's probably not a thing, but and he very well could have been a child prodigy at some point, but again, another terminal illness, and he had to be transferred into his own adult body, using quotes here. And Adam could be the actual engineer of this technology. That could be a thing because we know so little about Adam. He must have a backstory that's worth keeping hidden until the right moment. Either a relative or either a father figure in the sense that he created this technology and helped BK become the first actual hybrid. That would be pretty mind blowing plot twist. And I apologize if it happens and I ruin it for everybody else. But yeah, I've not heard that anywhere. But you were talking about stuff earlier. I'm like, huh, this could be a pretty big plot twist if they decide to do it. I'm on to you, Noah. I'm on to you. You had a thing. What is it?
I have two things now. It made me
Oh,
think of something else.
oh,
But yeah, if they do the battle royale, Xeno versus Xeno, maybe when Wendy Xeno takes out the new Xeno and maybe rips out its second mouth or whatever, or
yeah.
cuts off, and then the image goes into the second mouth, and that's how it controls the Xeno.
Hmm.
So when it opens its mouth, you see an eyeball, one eyeball.
That'd be new.
Wouldn't
That'd
that
be
be a
something
sight?
different.
Yeah.
That could work. I could see that working.
Could you imagine that? The intellect of the eyeball jockey with the Xeno body. That's perfect specimen.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ultimate killer.
Yeah.
What was the second thing? Or was that the second thing?
So I mean, it's the cliche. No, no death, no body, no death. If you don't see a body, there's no death. What if they brought back Moro's daughter in some capacity? Maybe she did die in the fire. Well, maybe if that was like the cover story for Moro to be totally a servant to Weyland Yutani, but she still lived, but maybe she found out that all this like stuff behind the scenes was going on, and maybe she cryo sleeped herself somewhere. You got to imagine that there's places on the earth that will allow you to cryo sleep, and she knows when her dad's coming back. So maybe as an adult, she cryo sleeps herself, and then she'll show up as a character at some point.
Interesting. I like that idea. And I've heard some fans speculate that her death was exaggerated or made up in order to
Right.
really solidify Moro's allegiance. Did you come up with that before, or did I hear that somewhere else?
I just heard the whole "no body, no death" um, by someone I think on TikTok, and they
Hmm.
were like, "If you didn't see a body, there's a great chance that they'll be in the show." So, no body, no death. I mean, you have Moro's daughter. She's a character that's gonna greatly influence certain uh, possibilities and character motivations, and might turn Moro against Weyland Yutani as well. I mean, who knows what the fallout will that
You,
could levy.
your idea gave me another idea. You ready for this?
Yeah.
BK still has the body of Mr. Tang, and Mr. Tang was not a synth after all.
Oh well. Okay. So Ted. So I think the consensus is he was never a synth.
Mm.
He just acted weird. That was the consensus. I think he was a
And we
human being.
and we never saw him die.
Yeah. He saw him scream at the Xeno.
And why show us Mr. Tang to begin with if you weren't going to pay that off in some regard? I think we just figured it out. Mr. Tang is
Yeah, he's
definitely the host in episode 8. Sorry guys, we spoiled this. This is too good. It's too good. It's too good. It writes itself. It writes itself.
wouldn't that be horrible to be on like a decades long trip with a guy that was like that? It's just creepy. And you couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
He just like creepily stared at the women and sat next to him and
And here we go. You and I were sitting in an audience with Noah Hawley, and we're figuring out like he's foreshadowed everything, right? He's literally foreshadowed everything from the get go. He just hides it really well. Foreshadowing Mr. Tang as being this silent, creepy type. What do you think he's gonna act like when he's got eye jockey in his skull? Silent, creepy type. It's perfect.
yeah, we have a lot of predictions. So let's see if anyone hits.
I love this. We figured this out. Seriously, like if this doesn't happen, I will be so shocked if Mr. Tang doesn't come back
Yeah,
this
nope,
next
we didn't see a
episode.
body. He's still around.
Yeah. He's either incapacitated, they're keeping him in an induced coma, or he's just in a cell block somewhere. I'm pretty sure. And the way that BK says, I know the perfect person or the perfect subject, whatever,
Right. Yeah.
It it felt somewhat comical the way he said it,
Yeah.
that it wasn't anyone else
That
that
was close to him.
we're aware of, and he doesn't
Yeah.
even know that they've captured Joe, so it really shouldn't be Joe should not be, a possibility. I don't even think they captured Joe at that point,
Right.
so it's probably not Joe, it's probably not Dame. 'Cause it just doesn't seem that well. He said he wanted to find someone of lower intelligence, so Dame doesn't fit the bill, and they
Maybe
pro
the mold scrubber on the outside in the hallway.
oh my god, that guy?
Yeah, because there's a close-up shot of him like he was gonna matter at some point, smoking a cigarette and shooting like highly flammable mold remover.
I mean, that makes kind of more sense to me than it does either Dame or Joe. The
That was
only
very
other
Dune-like to me. It felt like, you know?
mm, I think Noah's paying homage to all of his
Yeah,
favorites, from the past, even, like, Weekend at Bernie's. There's a few Weekend at Bernie's moments in this episode, I'm just like, "You know what? It's a possibility, it's a possibility." Very cool. I think we figured it out. Well done, Dave. We did it again.
yeah,
Mr. Tang, we'll see you in the finale episode. We want to hear from you guys. What did you guys think about the penultimate episode of the first season of Alien Earth? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let us know what your theories are for the finale. Is it on the same trajectory as of what David and I are on? Or do you have something else in mind? Let us know. We want to hear from you guys. All right. Last but not least, just want to make sure remind you folks that SpaceCon San Antonio is right around the corner. And in case you missed it, the next announcement is one and only Karen Gillan from Avengers Endgame, the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, Jumanji, and many, many more. I've heard from other folks that who have seen her at other conventions that she's just a blast. That she's so sweet with the fans, and so you don't want to miss her. She's going to be here only one day out of the event, the 25th, which is a Saturday, and we did lose a few folks. So Jonathan Frakes is no longer attending. Christian Ritter is no longer attending, which is a bummer because I really wanted to talk to Kristen about joining the most recent, actually the first season of Dexter Resurrection, which turned out to be better than I expected. Not to say that I expected kind of a lesser quality of a show, but it just felt like you really couldn't do Dexter differently unless you really put him in a different situation. And you know what they did? They put him in a very different situation, and I loved it.
Mhm.
So Dexter Resurrection, absolute hit. Christian Ritter was in it, as well as like just a number of just fantastic folks. Peter Dinklage, David Dastmalchian, Uma Thurman. Like they really went all out on the
Mhm.
season with guests and stars. So yeah, if you want to check it out, go check it out. It's on Paramount Plus. So yeah, we're not gonna have Kristen at the event. We're not gonna have Jonathan Frakes. We're not gonna have Haley Steinfeld. Haley also had to back out for reasons and purposes. But the good news is we have Karen, we have the entire guest list of everybody else that we've talked about in the past, and there's another guest announcement expected this week from an individual who was recently in a major DC role. I'll go and let it out. Somebody who we saw in Superman. I'm not gonna say who it is, but a major character in the Superman movie is going to be at SpaceCon San Antonio this October. Do not wait on getting your tickets. Do not wait on getting your autographs or your photo ops because a lot of these are going to run out very soon. So go check it out. Go get your tickets, and we will see you there. Dave, did you also want to talk about what you're doing at SpaceCon?
Yeah, so I will be there next to the Countdown City booth and maybe manning the Countdown City booth at whenever the occasion calls for it. But Star Wars Stuff Podcast, we're going to have a table next to Countdown City, and we will have a raffle, which we started doing, and we'll have the animatronic Home Depot Stormtrooper for raffle. Also, when you do buy a raffle ticket for it, you get to spin our prize wheel, and we do have different types of prizes. We have DK encyclopedias, we have Black Series figures, Funko Pops. I just got in some Theory 11 playing cards, which are high end playing cards, play poker or whatever card game you want to play. I do own a couple of packs of those, so I can vouch for them. And a lot of characters, a lot of actors that play those characters as prizes. I have like Natasha Lou Bordizzo, Ian McDermott, Giancarlo Esposito, uh, Billy D. Williams, even Carrie Ann Moss. Um, and yeah, just an array of stuff that I've collected to put on the prize wheel, from socks to books to action figures, um, to Hallmark ornaments as well. The expensive Star Wars ornaments. So yeah, you won't go away empty-handed if you enter the raffle. So yeah, look out for our Stormtrooper animatronic, and Ted is going to have something special at his booth too. I don't think he talked about.
I have not talked about it, but I'm willing to actually show everybody our video announcement that we have posted earlier today. In case you were not on social media, we apologize, but we did post a message from our very special 80s icon who is going to be present at our booth on Friday the 24th as well as Saturday the 25th. So, as I'm pulling up that video right now, I will say it's someone you're gonna want to meet. We're very excited. We've not had a special guest at our booth in the past. Not at SpaceCon. We've had like wrestlers, and we've had wrestler superstars or like ex wrestlers at our booth before doing signings, but we've never had like an actual guest at SpaceCon or at Superhero Comic Con. So this is the very first time we've done it at this event, and lo and behold, here is our very special video message for who's going to be present at our booth.
Hey everyone, it's your pal Johnny Five. I can't wait to see you at San Antonio for SpaceCon on the awesome Friday the 24th and Saturday the 25th of October. I'll be chilling at the Countdown City Geeks booth meeting all you fabulous folks. Let's have a blast together. See you there.
There you go. Johnny Five himself will be attending SpaceCon San Antonio. Will be located at the Countdown City Geeks booth, both Friday the 24th and Saturday the 25th. Come by, get your photo, have a chat with Johnny. It should be an amazing time. I am so excited. I know a few of the guys on the team have heard about it and they've been stoked. And the ones who didn't know about this are so excited. So it's pretty awesome that we've been able to pull this off, and we're just stoked, man. We're getting a lot of good feedback online, a lot of cool comments, and can't wait to see Johnny Five in action in San Antonio at the one and only SpaceCon. Your thoughts?
Johnny Five is alive, and he's going to be at the Countdown City Geeks booth at SpaceCon the weekend before Halloween. I'm hyped to see him. I don't think I've ever seen a Johnny Five robot in person, and get to hang out with him all weekend long. So, yeah, it's gonna be cool, man.
And the kind of different thing about this Johnny Five is that some folks out there might be thinking, "Oh, what's the big deal? He's just a walking puppet." He's actually not. This Johnny Five has incorporated his own AI, so
There's
you're
a
not.
consciousness that was implanted.
This is the first hybrid prototype. No, but this is not. No one's controlling Johnny. No one's telling him what to say. So when you're conversing with Johnny Five, you're talking to an actual talking robot, if anything. So that's exciting and kind of scary. So let's hope he doesn't go crazy on everybody. But we'll see what happens. SpaceCon San Antonio. Come check out Johnny Five at our booth. We're gonna have a ton of giveaways that weekend, and there's a huge guest list. So make sure you go to spaceconsa.com for the full guest list, and also to get information on photo op and autograph prices. All right. That'll do it for us. Thanks everybody again for watching. Be sure to give your comments on the finale episode for Alien Earth and let us know what you thought about episode 7 for the Countdown City Geeks. My name is Ted, aka Steady. Joining me on this Alien Earth episode 7 breakdown is one and only David.
Don't make me call my Xeno on you.
Have a good night, folks. Peace.